last time you were last time you were in San Francisco. Today you're uh, traveling in space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So one
You
of
just
my friends says, one of my friends says that there is something universal about you. So she sees that as a galaxy, and when I describe myself as a global icon, she said, "Yes, exactly. That is what."
absolutely
Yeah.
great, great.
So
Yes, we certainly are. You certainly are.
yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good thing. So, how was your weekend?
Weekend was like I rested a lot. Um, it was a 3 day week because Friday was raining hard, so I didn't go to
Oh,
office. Stayed home
okay, okay.
and enjoyed the rain. It was a heavy rain. And Saturday I slept the whole day. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
rested up.
Yeah.
You weren't sick. You were just resting.
Yeah.
Okay. Good for you. Good for you.
Yes.
I like your hair in a bun like that, or however you have it wound in the back. It looks nice.
Yeah. So what I do is just take my hair behind and put
Yeah.
two clips to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very
So
nice.
I have I have taken bath after coming from office,
Oh,
and
okay.
so the hair looks a little soggy, kind of wet.
No, it doesn't. It
And
doesn't. Only
yeah.
the only one. You're the only one that knows it's wet.
Sorry, you
I
said
say
something.
you're the only person that knows it's wet. I can't tell that it's wet.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Because it is
Yeah.
all no, it has all kind of stuck to my scalp. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a that's a very classic look though. That's like the business suit look. Funny. So, you want to tell me your awakenings or what? Or the insights you got, and I'll tell you mine when you're done. Or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, so yeah, so mine is very tiny. You might have a
Oh,
lot to say. Mine is because I'm getting a lot of clarity. There were a lot of concepts in my mind, but
yeah,
no, those were very impractical. I was not able to find a way to know live through that. So I'm getting a lot of clarity,
good.
because of which maybe I don't know, actually consciously I don't know, but people might be noticing that I am talking very clearly now. The words that I use
Mhm.
is conveying much more than like what usually I do. So yeah,
Yeah,
people are connecting
great.
more with me. uh, yeah, that is good for my coaching. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
Yes.
When did that started? It's been gradual over the last week.
And I think it has started since, say, 20 days back, I would say,
Okay,
but I'm noticing it now, this
oh,
week,
good for
because
you.
no, I'm not thinking more about anything. Suppose um, suppose somebody told me something, or during the chat something somebody told, I actually get very reactive. But
Yeah,
I'm not getting reactive since last 20 days. So
good for you.
it has, yeah, it has, kind of noticed by people. Yeah. they're more comfortable to reach out. Yeah.
Great, great. So people at work and your friends too, not just in your meetings, all the way around.
Yeah, yeah. All the way. Yeah.
Great. That's wonderful. Um, so you're getting results. You're getting
Yeah.
results.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Good for you. When you started writing, so how many days into your 3 months are you right now? I'm on like day 33 or 34.
If you are you in my Facebook, Sophie? Are you still there?
No, I'm not on Facebook anymore.
Okay. So I have started going live in my Facebook every day. That is one.
Okay.
And before that, actually, I take some notes. So that is happening. So it is
Yeah.
since I spoke to you, it is say mm, it is 25th day now. I think
Okay.
the shifting inside my mind has happened simultaneously with that writing.
Great. I
Yeah,
could I could go on I would be willing to go on Facebook just to see, just to see your posts. It doesn't mean I have to start searching and getting involved in it, but I would like to see some of your videos. So I could do that. Maybe
yeah.
not every day, but I could do it.
So those are in Hindi, not in English
Oh,
anymore. Be-
okay.
because those audience are in Hindi
Yeah,
who who actually are trying to reach out to somebody who can help them. Yeah.
I understand. That's
Uh,
okay. That's all right. We have private talks. That's good enough. That's fine.
yeah.
Um, I took your advice and made these little papers the size of my phone, and I
Great.
have them. Yeah, I have them right here in my car. So
Okay.
if my main writing notebook isn't with me, I can write on these, and then I collect them. So
Okay.
it was yeah, it was helpful to have them this size handy. Um, my for me, was that everything you wanted to say? I don't want to cut you off.
No, 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 no. Please go ahead. Go ahead. Just I wanted to show you something, Sophie. Just
Yeah,
1 second.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Can you see this?
Yes. Oh, that's pretty. What is that? A little purse?
Yeah, this is a
Oh,
pulse. So,
did you make it?
no, 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 no. It is somebody has gifted me, one of my friends.
Oh, okay.
So it is just a piece of cloth. Just you can stitch both the ways, and it is done with a zip.
Very,
So
very nice.
if you have such kind of a purse, those papers that you have written, it can go inside this.
Oh, you can. Oh, those paper. You're saying my papers could go inside something that size?
Yeah.
Um, um, now that you say that, there was a salmon colored zipper case that I found at a Goodwill store for like $3. And it's smaller than I could ever use regularly, but it felt so good and the color was so beautiful. That's what I'll use it for. These pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Great.
I,
Great.
I just had my hands on it this morning. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. What an idea.
Yeah.
Because makes me happy to look at it. It's such a beautiful color. Thank
Yeah.
you. No reminder.
Yes.
Um, so, ugh, so that everything is good. Everything is really good. And since I talked to you last, I had to go through more of what's
Hmm.
not well, relationship stuff, but not husband wife. I wasn't in the middle of that.
You've
But
plugged into Nirvana. Bluetooth mode.
I first of all, I got the settlement check for my accident from a year ago, right?
Okay.
So now I want to do a couple things with a little bit of the money, and the rest of it I'm going to use to offer Discover, my credit card company, to offer, to make them a deal. I've got this much money. If you don't take it, it's going to go somewhere else. And I
Hmm.
hope they'll settle with me. I'm a little nervous about doing it because it's a lot of money.
Hmm.
But so that's one thing. But I also feel good about the fact that I think they will settle. Um, and then on what day? Friday, Fawn, the lady from the my hometown, who I was living with,
Yeah.
um, had a little gathering of my friends, and Austin even came, right? But my intuition kicked in before everybody came, and I said to her, "Is everything okay? Need to how I'm being with you? Do I need anything?" And she looked at me and she said, "After the gathering and have a good time." And I didn't say that. I said, "Now you have me concerned, right?" I said, "Just tell me." So I just been back since the 21st of April, and she has decided that she doesn't want a housemate.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so I surprised, but I was ticked kind of because it took me a long time energy. She's got a two-floor house with a lot of
Hmm.
steps, and I in, right, which meant I had to haul in my head. I got to haul it all, and so my mind is going. Another one of those relationship challenges. So I hired a young kid that does a lot of work for us for 2.5 hours. I paid him for 2.5 hours. I packed everything up, like the day after on Saturday. She was gone someplace, and I packed everything, and she had just emptied cupboards in the kitchen for me. The next day, packed all the food, and I'm grumbling, right? I only grumbled to one girlfriend because I had to vent about it. Um,
Hmm.
and I really want to lose her friendship because I like Fawn and I know that she values me and we value one another. She's a quilter and she's written a book on quilting and she's an artist, but I just had to get through it. I just had to work my way through it. So I'm writing her notes every day as I'm packing things and she's away from the house. And then she finally answered me and she said, and I had just given her a bunch of money for rent for 25 days this month, because the rest of the time I'm going to be with Eyes of Freedom on the road. And her letter basically said, "I hope we can be friends, yada yada." And I didn't even I and I'm fine. I was fine with that. But by that time, I was over being upset. I just had to work my way through it because all that stuff came up. I'm imagining and thinking this and this and this and this, and that's not what was going on. I when I wrote her the first note, I thought, please consider giving me the rent money back when for the days I'm not going to be here. And I said, screw that, please consider. I just said, I expect. I wrote down the money that I gave her, took 5 days away for the days that I stayed there. And I said, these are the days I have basically overpaid you, and you can put the money on the table and I'll get it. So she gave me all of the money back and gave me the exact same envelope and everything. And that's not, I didn't want all of it. So I took the extra money, the 60 some dollars, and I told her that I wanted to, I told her in a note, and I said, donate this to what we call Carrot Club. It's a club for kids at the farmers market that introduces them to different foods. So once a week, the Carrot Club meets in a separate little spot in the market where everybody gathers to sell their goods, their homegrown stuff, and kids get to try a new vegetable or fruit every week. And that's kind of Fawn's baby. So I said, both of us will get to donate it. You and I will both have donated that money to Carrot Club. And I think she will be happy. I'm very happy with it. I'm happy doing that. So I was only upset for a couple days, and it was only because I was tired from I'm still not up to par on being home because I'm 20 pounds heavier than I was, and I can tell it affects my energy level, right? I'm dragging, I'm walking slowly, and it's, this isn't going to just fall off. I'm going to have to do some work to get rid of this insulation. So that was the like, oh, you got to bring all that. So I hired Arimer. In 2.5 hours, he did it. He carried it. He put it in, most of it in my car. We only had to drive 30 seconds down the road. And I talked to Austin, and I'm going to move into the Villa Joy space and make that a home, right? 20 feet from his house, in, in that of his garage. So I was just shopping for, and call an electrician. That little shed won't support a big fan, a refrigerator, a little microwave. It's going to be blowing fuses everywhere. So,
Mm.
of the settlement money, I'm willing to pay an electrician to come in and do what he needs to do. Plus, I told Austin, I started to think about having the whole place insulated because there's no insulation. And I wanted to put new windows in it and all this stuff. And I thought, time out, just see how it is with a couple fans. I have to put up a screen door that'll let the air go in and out because the windows don't open, and it's pretty hot in there. I don't think I'll be able to stay in there in winter because it gets bitter cold, and with no insulation, an electric heater won't heat that whole place. So I talked to Austin. I told him how much additional money I would give him each month. He said yes to all of that. Again, he said yes. And he also said yes to letting me help him. I can see he's getting behind on the laundry. It's, he folds it and he puts it on the dining room table. But now the cats are sitting on it. They're starting to pee on the towels. He can't bend over because his back doesn't bend. It hurts him to bend over. So there's stuff falling on the floor, and the kids aren't getting it up, right? They're trying to take care of their own little spaces. So I said, I will also help you do that. So I wrote Fawn back and said, yes, we're still friends. And then I explained about being tired. I understand that we both want our spaces, and we're fine. I'm fine. I'll see you at the market. So I avoided another relationship issue. And then uh while I was sitting in Villa Joy last night, I was just daydreaming and thinking about getting to Alderson in the first place. And back in 2014 or 15, when Austin and his wife moved to Alderson and moved in with her mom and dad, um, they had a log cabin on their property, and I came to visit with the intention of staying in that log cabin for maybe 6 months while everybody stayed in the main house. Well, the timing wasn't good because there wasn't a heating system. I had to cut wood and burn it to keep warm, and I just felt really isolated. And so I told her father I paid him for 1 month that I wasn't going to stay, and then I went back to Cleveland. It just was not a good situation. So while I was sitting there last night, here I am again in a separate building. Austin's in the farmhouse, only 24. And I thought, I'm fine in here. The timing, it's okay now. I'm ready now. I wasn't ready. And the kids, I was telling the kids, they Rebecca saw me in the room with Austin talking about, what private, the grown up stuff. And she's a little nervous. She goes, why is everybody all together? Why is everybody all together? What's going on? So then when they found out what was going on, that I was going to be safe, says, can you come visit? I said, of course you come. Part of why I want just to be 20 feet away. So
Yes.
yeah. So I revisited the issue of isolation. That's one of the things I wrote down. And then it could have really been a disaster if I didn't say, Sophie, deal with this kind of shit since January. Get over it. And you've been saying to your friends, your biggest challenge right now is being able to be in the center when people have differences of opinion. I understand. How would Fawn have known she didn't want a housemate if she didn't try it, right? So the issue that I was tired was not her issue. That was my issue. So it turned out, being. So now I'm eager to set up my house in that
Yeah.
space. It's about 15 feet wide, like a garage door, bigger than a garage door, maybe a car length, a truck and a half. It's that wide, truck's long. So it's like 15 feet. I don't know if you know feet, but it's about 15
Yeah.
feet wide and about 28 feet long. It just doesn't have any water in it. So I get to shower and do my laundry and use the bathroom in the house, because I was trying to think, do I want to buy camping equipment? Where will I put it? Where will I empty it? All that. How am I going to shower? All that stuff. And when you were a woofer, Sophie, you stayed in a garden shed, and if you had to, with a little single bed and a shelf and a little tiny dresser. And if in the middle of the night you had to go to the bathroom, you had to get up, walk, 100 feet, and that's what you did. And I can do that. I can do that. So it was an opportunity to let things go either way. And so I've been, taking notes on how I've been feeling and the insights, and this will go in my little purse since I wrote on here. But I'm feeling. Oh, and I bought myself a new mattress, a brand new spongy. It's like this much therma. It's a therapeutic something. Anyway, I haven't had a good mattress ever, ever, ever. Did I ever buy a new one for myself? So that's one that I'm buying that, picking it up tomorrow, and have to sleep on my camping car because I'm not getting good sleep. I'm tossing and turning all night, and so it's there's been a lot of insights, a lot of cool things to. Yeah, and it gets easier and easier as we've talked about. And I'm less afraid I'm less afraid of the conflict, of the challenges of having to look somebody in the face. Fawn and I did it on paper, but I know when I see her at the market, I'll give her a hug and say, I'm really glad we worked our way through this because I did not want to lose you as a friend. And she didn't want to lose me as a friend either. We just had to handle it, you know.
But why she didn't want you as a housemate? Anything that comes to you? Why she didn't want?
Um I she has like she on her own for 20 years. She has a cat, and I think she just likes the routine of being by herself. She's kind of like me. When she wants to be alone, she wants to be alone, and then when she's ready to be out, I don't think I did anything. She wasn't happy that I lit a candle, and she thought I fell asleep. She thought I was in bed with this candle burning, and I wasn't in bed. I was in the dark, but I was sitting in my recliner chair, and she had been drinking when because it was all of a sudden out of the clear blue. It was like the candle wasn't even on. It was several days later. I'm like in my bed and asleep, and she starts ranting and raving about that. So that's the only thing that we had any words over. And I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I wouldn't have done it on purpose. I forgot. It's the same situation with my daughter in law and the essential oil, right? Not remembering that she said I shouldn't use it in the house. And so I said, Fawn, I'm sorry. I forgot. Yes, I remember that you have a cat. And then she said, well, I guess I forget stuff too. And she does. But in the evening, 2 or 3 beers. Most evenings, she's drinking something. And um, one time when she came to visit me in the little tiny house where I stayed for 3 months this summer, we were talking about things we would like to change about ourselves. And she said, I would like to drink less. So I know that she knows that sometimes
Mhm.
she drinks more than she should, but she's
Yeah.
not, she doesn't drink before she drives. She does it
Hmm.
in the evenings, and that's fine because now she'll be by herself. She won't have anybody that will make any judgments about her. I don't care how much she drinks. I just don't want to be, in the midst of it.
Hmm.
I don't want to be involved in that. And I mean, I have stuff to drink now and then, but I don't have a problem. She said she has, a concern about how much she drinks. Till that evening, it was too much out of the clear blue. What? I'm in bed with my eyes closed, and you need to wake me up to tell me about a candle that I had burning 3 days ago. Okay, there's something wrong here. So I haven't seen her. I actually haven't seen her since then because that morning I was leaving at 7 a.m. and I was up packing, and I haven't seen her. And I'll see her tomorrow at the farmers market. But it was a touch and go. It was a touch and go there.
Hmm.
So it doesn't take young people with who because of growing up with it. It doesn't take long to get triggered by people who drink. And I don't care that they drink. I just don't want to be in the midst of any conflict because of it. Because I grew up like that. Not all of my childhood, but some of it. And it was not fun. So that's the only thing to answer your question, to give you a long answer. The candle is the only thing. I just don't think she realized, yeah, you'll be around Sophie. She was happy to, oh, I get to be around Sophie. I don't think she realized that meant sharing your bathroom, you know, uh, makes in the cupboard, making space in the in right in the midst of everything for my bed and my recliner. I just don't think she realized how much it was going to change her life. And I've lived with people on and off for the last 20 years while she was by herself. I've been living with other people, from staying in a commune, where there was a whole bunch of people, to living with other members, to living with friends. She's not done that. It's her and her cat. So I understand. I want to be by myself too. And we both got what we wanted out of it, with a lot of insights, I think, for both of us. So that's what my last couple of days have been like. That's
Yeah.
that's yeah, big nutshell.
Yeah.
And now I'm organizing. I just was at the hardware store to price get a refrigerator with a small freezer unit on the top. So I'm Barbara, my friend Barbara, who's building the house, is gonna use her truck to help me pick up the mattress tomorrow. Oh, and I bought a used grandmother clock that was in the thrift store here. And they cost a lot of money, but I got a really good deal on it. I always wanted a grandfather clock. So I'll have a new mattress, a new refrigerator. I have
Mm.
a little burner. I'm going to cook on that. And I just got to get the electrical system upgraded. I got to call the guy today. So moving right along.
Sorry.
Bless you.
So, but you should do something about that bathroom, I think. So, it is not wise to walk 100 feet for the bathroom. Maybe
No, that was when I was in Scotland. Austin's house is only 20 feet away. And
okay.
I have the key. So I'm going to do my laundry, use the bathroom and shower at his house, but it's just 20 feet away in
No,
his
but
backyard.
okay.
Yeah.
What about when you need to go to the bathroom at
I
night?
get up and I have a key to unlock his back door and I go in.
Well, is that safe in the night?
Sure, it's only grass. I'm just walking across grass. It's all
Okay.
it's all on this big piece of property. This is the farmhouse, and then in the back of the farmhouse, on his piece of grass, on his big
Mm,
piece of grass, is the garage, and
mm.
Village Joy, the Village Joy space is on the side of the garage. So there's
Okay.
nobody else around. It's safe. It's safe.
Okay.
I have a light on the outside of Villa Joy. I have to replace the light bulb, because then I'll be able to see, I won't walk in any ruts or anything. But I noticed last night when I went to flip it on, it was burned out. But he's got a backdoor light on the back of his house. So I just have to replace the light bulb. But it's safe. There's nobody around. There's woods, and the next nearby house is pretty far away, and he's got woods all around him, trees and stuff. So it's safe. Yeah. But I understand your concern. If I didn't think it would be safe, I would do something else, like, you know, buy a camping commode or whatever, but I'll be okay.
Yeah. And what about in the winter? Winter, you are saying that it has no insulation. So what about that?
Right. Well, either by winter Spirit's going to talk to me and tell me where to find an apartment or what's next. Or maybe Anita, the artist out in Colorado, will say, I need you, come on out. Or, because I really don't think right now I want to leave Alderson. You know, I was considering that apartment by the nuns in Pennsylvania, but I don't think I want to do that, at least not as of this moment. So maybe I'll end up in Colorado where it's pretty, it's, even though it's a state with a lot of snow and stuff, it's pretty, it I'll be in her house if I go out and she's ready for help in the sculpturing department, you know, I'll be staying in the lower level of her house. So I know is I'm cool for the next warm months. I'm probably okay through the early part of November. Because I have a heater, and in the morning right now it's chilly. There's no heat and there's no running water. So I'm going to be using paper plates, and if I have to wash dishes, I'll just wash them in a little tub or in Austin's house. It's definitely roughing it a little bit compared to living at Fawn's house or having my own apartment, but it's okay. I've done this, many times. I haven't. No, I'll have
So
to regroup. I haven't done. I haven't been living in a place like this many times. This is the first time I've lived in a place that didn't have any heat or any running water. However, it's not the first time that to save water from going in the cistern, we used to jump in the lake and take our baths in the lake. The lake was beautiful. We'd bring organic soap that didn't hurt the fish or the plants. That was when I was living at the commune. And I've gone camping where you don't get to take a shower for a couple days unless you are at a campground and lots of them do have showers. So I'm used to roughing it, I guess, as well as being on the end of it, the other end. Um, I am looking forward to planting plants, to putting flowers out in pots in Austin's back porch, and maybe planting some greens for myself, in small pots in front of my doorway. I'll take when I get it a little, maybe I'll take a before and after picture for you so you can see what it looks like now. And then in a couple days, depending on how much I get done, I'll take some more pictures. But don't worry, I'm not homeless, and I'm not unable to take care of myself. So
yeah, just I'm trying to, because I also have lived without running water. But I'm trying to give you some tips about when you don't have running water, what to do. So
yeah,
I have kept two big buckets, about 400 liters,
okay, okay,
two buckets.
yeah,
So even we had running water in the places I lived 4 years back.
yeah,
That place mostly didn't have running water, although it has provisioning, but there was no water. So
yeah,
we had to use whatever we stored, right? So
right.
for 4 years we did that. I did that. So
Four
um,
years, four
4 years,
years.
yes,
Yeesh, yike!
in, in Delhi, during COVID
Wow.
time, before COVID time, 2018 to 2022.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
and and before that also, when I was like working around the villages, remote villages, there was no running water. So
Yeah.
how I did was to store water, and whatever water I used. for say example, you wash your dishes, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that also I store in another bucket so that it can be used for some other purpose, like watering your pots or your plants or something.
Okay. Okay.
So
Good
that
idea.
that is how I did for those 4 years at Delhi.
Okay.
So, but the main concern that I have is not having a bathroom,
Yeah.
attached bathroom to your place.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
because it is too much for you to walk 20 feet. Even though 20 feet is not distance, it is just another room for you for the space that you are in.
Nilima,
Yeah.
last night I got up. I had to get up 2 or 3 times and go into the house, and
Okay.
that's probably, unless my new mattress helps me sleep better, that's just what happens. I almost always have to get up at least once or twice. The,
Yeah. So
my my only option is to put a bucket and pee or poop in the bucket and then empty it in the morning. I mean, I'm not above doing that if I have to do it. If I have to do that, if I find that it's easier to do that, I'll do it.
okay.
I could even get a camping, I could even buy a camping commode because they sell those. It's just a matter of where am I going to put it, um, because the space that I would have put it in is where I put my hanging clothes. I could put it the garage, the main garage is right next. There's a door I open from my place and it goes into Austin's garage and I'm renting that from him. So if
Hmm.
I had to, I could put it in there if I decided that I want to. So I guess I'll try it and see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
And
I could have,
this yeah.
huh,
For for me, it
yeah,
is wise for you to stay rooted in Elderson, and if you like, you can
hmm,
move around and stay at some place, but not taking all your belongings to that place. So, suppose you are going to
right,
Colorado, you just
yeah,
go and stay there for say 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even 2 months. That is okay. But
right,
don't
right.
take all your belongings, because people should not think that you have been traveling with all your things, and you can be at any place. They should think that you are there just visiting them.
I think that, and I understand that why you're saying that. And uh, Anita knew that I was not traveling with all my stuff. I was only traveling with the summer clothes that I had in Florida because the weather was different. I didn't have all my stuff with me. I wouldn't take all my stuff to the other end of the country unless I was moving there, and that's not my plan. So
Yeah,
yes, I totally agree with what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah. In fact, I might even fly the next time
yeah,
because it takes 3 days in a spending a bunch of money at a hotel uh, to get out there, and she's in such a little community, and we worked so well together that when we both needed to leave home, it was usually together. And for
yeah.
that matter, even walk to the little town that they live in, to the center of town. And then if I was too tired to walk back, she would come and get me. So I really don't have to have a car out there.
Okay,
Uh, she would pick me up in Denver, Colorado. It's about 45 minutes to the area where she lives from Denver. So that's where everybody flies into. And then Boulder, the name of is the biggest city where the universe is about half hour from from Denver, and then it's another half hour from Boulder to her house. So it's very feasible to just fly and not have to have my car. And
Yeah.
that would definitely keep me from bringing other than a small suitcase. And they have thrift stores there, so if I needed anything, I could buy it secondhand. There's nothing there, nothing that I would have to have that I couldn't find in Colorado cheaply.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So in India,
I
uh,
yeah.
the families
Mm-hmm.
are very close knit, but they have started to drift away from each other. Like in my father's time, my father's cousins, the cousins of no his grandfathers, those cousins, no, all of them were living together. Still now,
Okay.
it is like that
Uh-huh.
in back in my parents' village, no, my parental village.
Yes.
The house, the houses of all those people are half a kilometer long. You know, it is just extension of one
Mm-hmm.
house, then it became two house, and like that. So it is such a
Yes.
huge thing, and you won't believe it is half a kilometer long. All those houses
Wow.
together, they were just
Wow.
extension of one another. No, slowly built over a
Yeah.
period of time. And
Yeah.
when
Wow.
I was little, there were 400 workers working in that house every day.
Four four
Four,
hundred.
400 because
Four
there were,
hundred.
yeah,
Oh my
400.
God. Holy cow.
Because there were so many activities. My grandparents grew everything except kerosene and salt. You know, that is what
Wow.
they bought. Everything else was grown.
What
And
was the said salt and what else? Salt and
kerosene,
what else?
kerosene.
Kerosene. Okay. Yeah.
Because
Wow.
that time there was no electricity, so they had to light these lamps, small lamps.
Yeah.
So for that,
Wow.
even then, those lamps, there was oil, other oils, vegetables they
Yeah.
used to, the
Yeah.
castor
Yeah.
oil they used.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so when I was small, I didn't get a place to sit all alone. There were people all around the house. That big
How
house,
many of
there
your
was
rel-
not a
how
small
many
corner even.
relatives? Oh my gosh. How
Uh,
many how many people, how many relatives were in that big humongous
relatives,
space?
there were, I have my father's cousins included. I have 28, what do you say, aunts in law, aunts,
Ah,
and 19 uncles.
oh my gosh. And they
And
all have
because if they have at least two kids each of
oh
at
my
my
god.
generation, there will be like say 60 of them. And if each of them has two kids, then it
Wow.
is like so many. So all of them till now were there in the village. Right now, if you go into that village, the entire house is empty. Just some old people are there, two, three only. My
Really?
father's cousins,
Wow.
they are living. All the children, they are gone. Nobody there. No activity there anymore in the
Yeah.
villages.
Yeah.
So people have started drifting, and their values have changed. So when I was 3 or 4, I saw everybody together,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
I also have seen that despite differences of opinion, all those people came together when there was a need.
Yeah.
Not anymore. No, I don't know 90% of my cousins,
Wow.
let alone their children. So
Yeah. Yeah.
if I meet somebody today, I won't know who that fellow is.
Yeah.
At
You knew them when you were little, but you don't know them anymore. You
no,
don't.
they were, some of them were that time they were not born.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So in one of the feast, the when there was a get together, I I was eating something from one of the there are kind of little, what do you say, um little eateries, no, it'll there are
Yeah.
50, 60
Yeah.
eateries,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I was eating something at one of them,
Yeah.
and another person was standing just in front of me. Then I was saying something and he said something, and uh, he said, "You were writing letters to my grandfather. Do you remember?" So I knew I just wrote letters to one grandfather who was 30 years elder to my father. His grandfather is my uncle, and he was a
Yes. Yeah.
distant cousin, 30 years
Uh-huh.
elder to my father, and
Wow.
he was a teacher. And so I asked him, he had, my uncle had three sons. So I asked him, whose son are you? He laughed aloud.
Yeah. Who do you belong to? That's funny.
So his grandfather means he is my my nephew.
Okay. So his father is your grandfather's brother.
No, his father, in that relationship, his father is
Yeah.
my brother. My brother.
Your brother.
Yeah.
All right.
So he was my nephew, and
Woo.
I from a very respectable. There are three kinds of respect that we show. Like a very highest respect, we say something. Then the middle, just we know each other, another thing, and very 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 close, another thing. So I was asked, I was just respect, highest respect means that
Yeah.
language. I suddenly came
Yeah.
crossing to the lowest, whose son are you?
That's funny. That's very.
So yeah, so that way it has started drifting, and people have different kind of mindset, no.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
uh, the story of my life, so when I was going through the bad days, even my own people, they were thinking I was dependent because I took a lot of help also,
Yeah.
and they were not respecting me, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a phase of my life. That phase,
Yeah.
it was not good for me. I didn't feel a little bit of good also that time, and even my
Yeah.
children were not happy. But
And
I,
how old were you when you were going through the hardest time?
it was 2002 to 2008. So it was,
Okay.
say, 25 years back, you can see.
O- Okay.
So, but that was a phase. I got over that phase. And
Yeah.
I remained the same. I have, because I went from home to another city to work,
Mm-hmm.
and that was
Mm-hmm.
a decision to tell them that I don't intend to be dependent on them.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of pain. I stayed away from my children for 10 years and
Oh, gee.
all that. And now I don't ask anything. Uh, but they want to give because they want to be close to me. You know?
Yeah. 10 years. That's a long time not to talk to your kids. I didn't talk
Yeah.
to Austin very much for 3 years, and that was hard enough. I can't imagine 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I that was a very difficult time. And
Sure.
but I got over that ultimately. And now because of that, and I haven't had anything in my mind for them because they thought like that. So
Yeah.
now I have the edge. But you know, when I know people when you are in need, some kind of need, and
Mm-hmm.
you expect some kind of help. It is not completely dependence, but some kind of help so that no one can uh, take all that hardness in your life, hard times in your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, and because, and you know, this running water thing,
Mm-hmm.
these difficulties keep on coming, but you know, you have to have your life around it, all these difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
To make yourself comfortable, it is not that hard, but mm, you have to, of course, you have to have a habit of that, no, staying with, living with that difficulty, that much of difficulty.
Yeah.
Mm. So little things, if you can, to have a bathroom is a little comfort that you can have for yourself, because it creates unnecessary burden on you not having a bathroom, and this cooling system that is required for you. You may
Y-
know you can make your stay comfortable wherever you are.
Yes. I
Yeah.
agree. I totally agree. I had a big round wooden table with four big heavy chairs, and I bought it thinking I put it on the front porch of Austin's house, and we never really used it. I thought the kids would do crafts and things on it, and we'd eat out there, and we didn't. So I've been moving this table around. First, it was in the middle of Villa Joy. Then I took it out this week. Austin helped me put the leaf in it and make it longer. And it's in his garage with all my stuff piled on it. But I think I'm going to get rid of it. I think I'm going to bring it outside the garage and put it on the patio where I can work outside or people can really sit outside. And if I don't use it this summer, I'm just going to get rid of it because it takes up a lot of space. And I'm telling you this because it may be where I can put a camping commode. If I get rid of that table, you can buy like a tent, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're just single tents, and they're used as a private space for showering if you're
Yeah.
put it next to your camp. Sometimes it's a double. You can buy a double one, and one side is for showering and the other side is for your commode, or one side is for showering and the other side is for dressing. I've been looking at those too. I just gotta, with only being in there 2 days, I'm still, shaking out what works for me.
Yeah. 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 That
Yeah.
writing will help.
But
That writing will help.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
also putting those numbers, like how much expenses you are going to bear in case you want to do this or that
yes,
option. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Once I settle, once I settle with Discover, I will have paid off all my credit cards. I had four of them, and three of the four have so far taken 50% as payment. What I didn't know is whatever debt they release, they send you a tax form. So you're supposed to declare that and, do your yearly taxes, which is okay because it wasn't, that none of them was that much money. But the Discover people, I have quite a bit on that card because I used it while I was traveling. So, and if they report it, they report it. It's not, it's going to be what it is. But then I'll be totally done. I won't have any credit cards, and I just feel like I can work on cash and
Mm.
um, and knowing that I can be with Austin gives him some certainty with how much he's going to have. And yeah, I certainly don't need more clothes or more jewelry or more books or more knickknacks or more paintings. Oh my God, I have so many, not my own paintings, but like if I see a painting that's got a really nice frame, even if I don't like the picture, a lot of times you can buy them for a little bit of nothing, and then I buy them and I repaint, I paint on the glass. And
Okay.
if I had a license, I could actually sell them out of my own, when I thought that Villa Joy might be a store. But that's that's that would have to be down the road, one thing at a time. you know I just want to do some art, not necessarily to sell it, but I have a lot of felt that is packing felt, and it's too nice to throw away. It's very thick and it feels like wool, but it probably is wool felt. And I'm going to make some kind of art out of it. And who knows, maybe I'll join the co-op in town, the artisan gallery co-op, and then I could display some of my stuff. But up until now, I haven't wanted to do that. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah, and then the end of the month on the 26th of May, which here is, we call it Memorial Day. We remember the people who died in the wars, who fought, soldiers who fought. And so it's a national holiday. And I am driving from here to Columbus, Ohio for the week because Eyes of Freedom is going to be in Columbus, Ohio at a different location, both inside and outside exhibition. And I'm going to, as part of my contribution to that traveling exhibit, I'm going to, since I'm on the leadership team, I'm going to go and be with it. And there's another little town. Um, so on both weekends, the first weekend and then the following weekend, or 2 weeks away. So I can stay at Anita's house. She has a lovely house in the area. And she's already said I could stay there and not, all I have to do is pay for my gas to get there and my food. But I can cook at home. I can cook in her kitchen, so it won't be a lot of expense. But if I don't want to be on the leadership team and not be involved doing something. It's my commitment to um, uh, donating my time to something, and it's all, it started because of Austin being injured. So we'll see. As I told you, I'm going to give it a year and see if I feel like I'm making any kind of difference, being part of it. And then,
Yeah.
you know, Not like I have to sign a contract or anything. I either show up and do something or don't. So, so that's what I know at the moment.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
you might, this is totally off the subject, but you might be able to give me some ideas. I noticed this morning when I look in the mirror, I use baking soda and peroxide to brush my teeth. My teeth
Okay.
are so, my teeth are so yellow. They're
Yeah.
terrible. And I haven't even been drinking tea. But what I have been doing is I take spirulina every morning and ashwagandha, for energy. And maybe that's what keeps my teeth yellow. But um what do you use to whiten your teeth? Because I look like a 90-year-old lady. They're so yellow. They're awful. So what do you use to
I,
whiten your teeth?
so I use just the toothpaste to brush my teeth. That's all. And yeah. So
And are you
any white
oh,
toothpaste.
okay.
But
Well, I
if
haven't
you
uh-huh.
want to whiten your teeth right now, what you can do is use mustard oil and
Mustard.
with a little bit of salt, and you can just put that mixture, no, around your teeth, because it will create a lot of saliva also.
Okay.
Maybe if you can tolerate it, and the salt also, it may actually create, it will not feel good inside your mouth.
Right.
But if you
Right.
can put that and then say for 15 minutes and then brush
Okay.
with any toothpaste, then it will slowly whiten your teeth, slowly.
Like over a couple days, over a week or what?
So it
How
will
many
it will
days in a row do you have to?
say for every alternate day, if you start doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
and and
how many how many days do you do it? For a week or alternate for a week or what?
no, I only use toothpaste, but when sometimes I don't know for what, when the teeth becomes yellowish, I use that the mustard oil along with the salt,
Yeah.
and just I put like this with my finger,
Just one just one time? Just one time?
just just one time a day.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
All right. So do you use toothpaste one day and then the mustard oil and then toothpaste and the mustard oil like every other day?
No, no. Once I do with the mustard oil, I keep for 15 minutes, and then I brush with normal toothpaste.
Okay. And how about the next day then? Just you don't
Next
use the
day,
mustard.
next day, next day again only toothpaste. But if you can tolerate that salt, and it will not taste good inside your
Yeah.
mouth,
Yeah.
maybe. But if you can tolerate that taste, then you can
Mm-hmm.
do the next day also. Maybe it will
Okay.
take. Last time it was long back when my teeth became yellowish. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't remember actually, but I remember this is what I did.
Okay. I'll call the I'll call the health food store here and see if they have any mustard oil. I know I know that some people oil pull coconut oil through their teeth, and that's supposed to help. I have castor oil and I have coconut oil, but I don't have any mustard oil. So I can call in the health food store and see if they have it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just you use sea salt or regular salt? Sea salt?
No, 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 no sea salt.
Just regular salt.
Regular, yes.
Okay. All right.
We
I
we
will
need
try it
very
because
little bit
something.
of salt. Yeah.
Okay.
We while cooking we use little bit of salt, no extra salt. Just half a spoon in
Yeah.
entire food. That's all that we eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went to a restaurant the other day because they have delicious greens, and
Okay.
um and I was looking forward to them, and they're usually really good, but they were so salty. I could hardly eat them. And I
Okay.
actually said something because, the waiter asked me how everything was. And I said, I come here for the greens and normally they're delicious, but today they are really, really salty. And he said, oh, I'll let them know. So it was a buffet. So he went over to the lady that was filling the trays on, the buffet, and told her. And I heard her say, well, I didn't cook it. So I don't know whether she ever said anything to anybody in the kitchen or not, but she just said, I didn't do it. And it's like, oh. So
Yeah.
I haven't been back there since then, but they were really, really salty. And I don't use much salt at all either. But ooh, I was disappointed because they're normally delicious, but too much. Uh,
You can use two or three lemons, maybe.
yeah.
When you have salty food, you may just spray little bit of lemon over it so that the salt is taken care of.
Oh, that's a good idea. I never thought of that. In fact, I had lemon slices in my water. I should have done that. Next time
Yeah,
I'll remember. Next time
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
remember. So you mentioned castor oil before.
yeah,
Usually in the morning, I put it on my face, and then I have this little metal thing. It's called a gua sha, and I go across my face and it pushes the lymph out, and I do it on my neck and stuff. And I also discovered that when my knees are achy, castor oil takes the pain out of my knees, but it
yeah,
doesn't work the same. It does not do the same thing on my neck. It doesn't take the pain away on my neck for some reason, maybe because it's a different kind of injury. But on my knees, within 10 minutes, it takes the pain away.
yeah. So how do you massage that oil in your neck? This way?
I don't, the castor oil, you mean? I,
Yeah,
I don't, um, I don't put the castor oil on my neck. I just put it on my face, but I use the little metal thing on my neck and just go down like this. It makes it feel really good, especially right here. This is the part that got injured when I had
mm,
from whiplash. This muscle here gets really tight. And
mm,
so using that piece of metal right here, relieves some of the stress.
yeah. You can use the castor oil here also.
Okay.
So,
You,
but
you,
little,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Tell me.
you take a little bit because it is quite uh,
Sticky,
thick,
thick.
yeah, very very sticky.
Yeah.
So just take a little bit and just put in round motion maybe.
Uh huh.
And once you are done with it, then take that medal that you're seeing and do this. It should
Yeah.
help. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only reason I haven't put the oil on my neck is I don't want it to get all over my clothes. I don't mind putting it on my face because even if it gets in my hair, I can wash it out. But I don't want my shirts and turtlenecks and stuff and dresses to have castor oil. But um,
You can
I
use a
can do it
towel.
when I'm just wearing. Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. So, but I like using it. It's probably, I bet I bet castor oil for you is a lot less expensive than when, because we have to order it. It doesn't, I don't think they don't, I don't know any place nearby that grows castor beans. They, places around here grow soybeans and corn because they feed, the animals eat it. Soybeans are a big crop in Ohio, especially. In West Virginia, I don't think soybeans are a very big crop. Our thing down here is forestry. So we have so many trees, all the hills are covered with trees, that sawmills are a big deal in West Virginia. So it's sawmills and coal. And I went to a fashion show. I forgot to tell you this. I went to a fashion show, uh, done. The fashions were made out of recycled stuff, repurposed things like you make your fabric, your quilts. And one little girl made her outfit out of plastic bags, and she was so little, she was too shy to walk across the stage by herself. So her mom helped her. But there was a woman from England who was the main speaker. She was very interesting, and she has been in the field of um, helping with textiles and textile manufacturing and fabrics and all that stuff. And she teaches at a college. And she was telling us that it's her opinion and the opinions of the people she works with in the departments that we overproduce clothes, right? And we shouldn't have to just keep buying new all the time. And I don't buy new all the time, but um, she told us three things: that they're starting to try to raise more sheep in West Virginia. There, there's three special spots where they're starting to grow and plant indigo, so we don't have to import all of our jean fabric, right? All of our denim. And then there was another place that I forget what the third thing was, but the college students that she's working with are experimenting with. So you buy one pair of jeans, one dark pair of jeans, and then when you want to design on them, you take them back to the place where you bought them and they put like a tattoo on it, and then you wear it for a while, and then if you want another tattoo you go back to the same place and you pick out all these different designs, and so you're not buying a new pair of jeans all the time. And then she said they are also experimenting with um, printing on, say, a shirt or a blouse, and then you can take it back to the same manufacturer and they'll put, say you had stripes going this way, they'll print stripes going the other way so that it looks like a new design, right? and
Yeah.
and she was very, very interesting. I could have listened to her for a couple more hours. And she was also telling us about, so Goodwill, you know what Goodwill stores are? Do you have those in India? Probably not. They're thrift stores, they're recyclable stores, but they're very well known here. And usually the people who work in them are people who have been through addictions or alcoholism, and they're trying to get back into the working field. So those stores are everywhere, and they now have their own little label. So she came to the store near where I'm sitting. It's a thrift store, secondhand store, and she sat for a day, and when somebody bought something, she asked them, her project was to ask them if she could sew a Goodwill label on it so people would know that they bought their stuff at the Goodwill store. Just like if you bought a Tommy Hilfiger or a famous brand, Prada or something like that, right? And she said she was very surprised at people's reaction. More people were okay with her sewing a label on than were not okay, and some people were embarrassed and didn't want anybody to know that they bought their clothes at a secondhand store. Heck, half the things I wear, I have to count the things I wear that are new, because I hardly ever shop and buy anything brand new anymore.